Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Miniart, and it's a kit of course in a 1/35 scale, but as you can see it's quite an unusual vehicle because we get the K-51 radio truck, and it's not only the truck, we get the trailer attached from the rear, so it might be an interesting build for your diorama project or maybe a solo build, but here we get more of a, I would say, civil marking options. As you can see on the box art we have bright red colored truck, but there will be also some other markings. And of course what I have here on the table, it's the final shape of this release. So this is the I would say something what you will get in Modelimex, for example, if you will order it right now, and the kit number is written here, so it's 37062. And as for the box size, I would say it's rather on the large side, so here is comparison with my hand. As I said, box art is quite nice. And then here on the side we have also some safety advices and address of the manufacturer, while on the opposite side you'll find also the mention that decals are coming from Cartograph, and here we have also the marking options. So there are 4 of them, and as you can see each of them comes with a different colored trailer, so it's quite an interesting choice, I would say. And it's a top opening box, so just give me a moment to lift it up a bit. It's more of a tight fitment of this top lid, so that's why it is a bit tricky to get it off. But as you can see, there is plenty of space inside, and all sprues are sealed into one plastic bag. So I'm going to open it right now and we will check everything together. And in the meantime, I can also remind you that this truck, this closed version, it was also available as the solo release. So in case you are interested in the version without the trailer, you can also check it on my YouTube channel, and it's quite easy to find, as well as some other novelties from Miniart, which are molded in the same scale. And there was an interesting release recently, so definitely take a look at the recent videos. Okay, as you can hear, I'm opening the plastic bag. It's a sealed plastic bag, so that's why I'm trying to do it in a more or less careful way. And here I just need to open the plastic sprues, and we will start probably with the envelope, which houses the large P thread, and also I can see the plastic bag with the metal chain, which is also quite nice, so just give me a moment. So first of all, the PE thread, here it is. As you can see, we have the PE parts for external and interior features, and overall I would say that's a typical bonus for Miniart. So here I don't have anything bad to say about it, but it's just a matter of applying these parts, and you can notice that some of them are really thin and small, so that will be definitely a work for the tweezers. Be ready for this, and definitely take your time. Try not to hurry with those because it's easy to get lost, and then you will be having a hard time trying to replicate it or replace those parts, which will be lost to the carpet monster. Next we continue here with the chain. So as you can see, the chain is packed into a separate plastic bag, so overall it's a good addition, which is not that often met in the plastic sets, I would say, even today. Next we have another plastic bag which is sealed, and we have the clear frame and decals. So just give me a moment. I will open it. Okay, it was a bit of a tight fitment, but I managed to open it. So first of all, the clear frame, here it is. As you can see here, we have all of the necessary, let's say, glasses and transparent elements for the truck. We have the windows for the cab, we have lenses for the headlamps, and the molding quality is really nice. It's just a matter of masking those parts because Miniart does not include any masks. So be ready to cut your own stickers and try to do it in a bit more precise way, because the paintwork will be visible on this set, I would say, in this case. Next we continue with the decals. So those ones are printed in Cartograph, so that's why there are no complaints about the printing quality. I will just try to pick it up and show you closer the printing quality. And as you can see, we have all necessary symbols for 4 marking options. We even have some interior decals and stencils, so it's definitely a good thing to have in a 1/35 scale build. And usually Cartograph decals are quite nice, so I don't think it will be an exclusion from that rule. Next we continue, or we start with the first gray plastic sprue. So this one is dedicated to the trailer parts. As you can see, we have really nice surface details. I would say how this tarp and the wrinkles look like, it's quite convincing. So it's just a matter of painting it properly as well, and then you'll be good to go. And here from the opposite side we also have some minor features. We have also the push marks, so be sure to check if they're visible on your build. Next we continue with parts for the truck. So here we have the frontal grills, which are out of plastic, but as far as I remember you can also assemble it out of PE parts as well, if you're brave enough, of course. And here we have also the bonnet panels with nice pre-molded details. And here from the opposite side we also have some features, so really cool. And I would say it's still impressive that we get it in the standard package. We don't have to get anything extra. Next we continue with the parts for the rear section. So here we have, I would say, van specific parts, because we have these large panels. We also have the new seats, and these are actually, these large panels, they are used for the interior. So as you can see, if I flip them over, we have some guiding elements, but that's pretty much all. And overall the parts division, I would say it's somewhat logical. So here I don't have any unexpected solutions which will be tricky to work with. Next I will try to show you the thin part for the trailer again. So here we have the small bars for the, let's say, side walls, and as you can see there is no wooden texture, so in case you would like to replicate some beaten surface, you will have to do it with your own hands and tools. Next we continue with the more parts for the trailer, and here you can see that again we have a lot of pre-molded features, and again we have a lot of small parts. So this is something what you will not be able to avoid with a Miniart kit. It's not bad, but it's something what you should be ready for, because it will take some time. Next we continue with the pair of the sprues, so I will show you only one. This one is for the truck. We have here the mud guards, we have also the brake drums, and also some parts for the wheel axles, but everything looks fine, so here it's nothing to comment about. Next we have also the leaf springs. Here they are. So they're molded separately and they will have to be installed onto the chassis. Next, another thing is the Pioneer tools here. So as you can see, these ones are molded without the clamps. So I guess the clamps will be replicated with the help of PE parts. Okay. Next, we have the various equipment to be placed in the truck. So here I will have to zoom out a bit. And now you can see what I'm talking about. So overall, I would say it's easy assembly. It's just a bit tedious procedure, because as you can see, some steps will have to be repeated, and also we have some guiding elements from the opposite side, so it's not like you get in the plain parts which will have to be somehow combined together. It's more or less well thought through design, which should be a bit easier to work with. Next, I'm looking here at the panels for the trailer again. So those are large sidewalls, and again we do not have the wooden texture, but at least we have the rivets pre-molded, and here you can check also the opposite side. Okay. Next we have the separate sprue for the engine. So even though this is not featuring, I mean, on the box art, it wasn't mentioned as the interior kit, we still get a lot of internal features. As you can see here, we have really nice engine out of the box. So it might be handy for some modders who would like to open the bonnet, and for those who don't want to open the bonnet, they can just paint it roughly, and that would be more than enough with the closed bonnet. But in my opinion, it's a bit of a shame to close the bonnet with such details out of the box. Next we continue also with the interior. So here you can see the frontal firewall for the engine wall for the bonnet, and also here we have the separate doors, door cards, the windscreen, the steering wheel, and everything looks really nice. So it's just a matter of joining everything together. And here you can see also that we have the interior panels for the doors. They're actually molded separately and should be installed onto those doors. Next we continue with the sprue again for the rear trailer. So here we have the, I would say, the main panels. As you can see, we have the wheel fenders. These are sidewalls which are molded together with the leaf springs. We have even the chassis here, and if we flip it over here, we have more or less plain panels, but that's a good cause to play with some weathering and scratches replicated on the sides. And here you can see also some guiding elements for placing the wheel fenders. Okay, next we have the, again, the parts for the van, and here the R. So as you can see, if I zoom out a bit, we have the one-piece floor panel, which is obviously longer than the typical truck one. We also have the new roof panel, which is molded together with a windscreen frame here. We have the new chassis bars, and here you can take a look from the side. So this is a large part with some features pre-molded inside as well. And the same can be said about this floor panel, which is really nice. And of course, it will also require some additional painting and weathering skills from you to get a bit more convincing appearance. Next, we continue with the sprues for the first one is for the front cap, this one, and these ones are used for shaping the PE parts in case you would like to replicate the front grille with help of PE parts. This is quite a smart solution, and I think some modders will be actually happy to get it in the standard package. Next, we have the pair of identical plastic sprues, because here we have the road wheels for the trailer, and as you can see, each wheel should be assembled out of two parts. We have also the wheel rim molded together with the tire. We have also some features on the tire, and of course such design will make it a bit easier to paint at least this side, but that's pretty much all, because here you have to use some circular masks, because otherwise it will be almost impossible to get the sharp and precise paint work on the wheels. Next, we have another pair of the plastic sprues for the wheels. Here we have the wheels for the truck. So again, pretty much the same story, and the overall features look nice, but there is no replication of the weight effect. So in case you would like to have it, you have to search for some resin parts, or maybe just deal with those parts. They're still better than the typical vinyl offering which we encounter in some other kits. Here I'm zooming out because we have large rear panels for the van version. We have the rear doors which should be assembled out of several parts. As you can see, you combine two panels together. We have the wheel fenders for the front cap. We also have the front doors. And here inside we have some guiding elements. So as you remember, we have the interior panels installed here, and that will help you replicate the actual thickness of the real object. But that's not all. We have the last gray plastic sprue. So this one is actually one of the biggest. So I will just zoom out, and I would say it's more or less universal, because here we have the bonnet, the fuel tank, the bonnet panels and side fenders. We have the wheel axles and also the leaf springs, exhaust, some parts for the engine bay, and everything looks really fine. I can see that attachment points are thin enough, and as you can see on the smallest parts we have only one attachment point in one spot, so it should be relatively easy to work with all of this stuff. And here you can check the parts from the opposite side. Okay, and that's not all. We have the assembly manual. So assembly manual comes as the large cover printed brochure. So here I will just close the lenses a bit and zoom out. So as usual, on the first page we have the short list of the features. Then we continue with the first marking option. So here we have this white covered truck from Eritrea, late 1940s. And the same goes for the trailer. As you can see, it's in the same color. Then we have the parts map, and here we continue with assembly process. So it starts with the main chassis, but straight away you will be working with P parts, moreover shaping some of them, as you remember. So be ready for this. And next we continue with the various parts for the frontal section for the steering and mechanism. Here we have the drivetrain as well as the engine assembly. And then we continue with the exhaust installation. Here you can see the radiator grille. And it's quite interesting that here Miniart did not suggest the wiring solution, but it might be also good to check your references in order to replicate the wiring just like on the real truck, because I think in 1/35 scale it should be a visible feature. Next we continue continue with the main, let's say, section or body section being assembled for this truck. As you can see, we also have some assembly options for the window on the rear door, which is really neat, small touch. And again, in 1/35 scale, it makes sense in my opinion. Here we continue also with some features for the roof. And then we install or join the roof with the main section. Then we also have the separate wheel fenders. And then the whole body section gets installed onto the chassis. We start working onto the bonnet. Here you can see the assembly of the front grille out of PE parts. So as you can see, it's several PE sections being combined together. Next, we have this large side boxes being installed on both sides of the truck. And there is some equipment in those boxes, which is rather surprising, I would say. Next, we have here the trailer assembly. So again, the whole process is quite simple, but again, you're dealing with a lot of PE parts, and those ones will be quite tiny, so be ready for this. And here we can see two other marking options. So this one is from China 1946, another one from Rome, and here you can see it's early 1950s. It was on the box art, as you remember. And here we have one last, which is from Argentine, Marines Mobile Station 1950s. So green truck with a green trailer, and it's also quite a, I would say, interesting option to replicate. As for the whole kit, it should be already available, and you can get it in Modelimex webshop. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.